Hello, it's 8 o'clock in Banjul. This is QTV Nightly News coming to you live from our studios on Karaba Avenue. And I am Jul Denjai. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. In the ongoing operation Clear the Road to remove structures on the right-of-way, the operation team, together with security officials, went out to monitor compliance at the demolished areas and made more arrests. The National AIDS Secretariat and partners commemorated World AIDS Day on Saturday at the Governor's office in Birkama in the West Coast region. Now, the ECOWAS Commission's Legal Affairs Directorate is organizing a joint technical meeting in Banjul with the West African Economic and Monetary Union in a bid to harmonize some laws relating to heavy goods and vehicles. Now, in a significant development at a press conference on Saturday, the Gambia Car Dealership Association has announced that the government has allocated a piece of land to the association in New Yundum. In international news, as part of the anniversary celebrations on December 16th, marking the 250th anniversary of Boston Tea Party, the organizers say they will be honoring Phyllis Whitley, a former slave who is connected with Senegambia. Those were your headlines, and now the news in detail. Thank you very much for joining us. If you are just tuning in, this is QTV News with me, Jul Denjai. Now, the ongoing operation Clear the Road has covered many parts of Greater Banjul area with the demolition of many structures on the right-of-way. The operation team, together with security officers, went out to monitor compliance at the demolished areas and made some arrests. Momodu Lamin Choi has the details.
None of us could have failed to notice this ongoing Operation Clear the Roads. The operation across the country still dominates the headlines. This morning, those responsible for enforcing the initiative are on parade at the Kanifing Mobile Traffic Police Station ahead of being dispatched for a routine exercise. Their task is to reclaim public spaces and rights-of-ways along the roads that have been encroached upon. Here is Bakari Kemane, the head of Operation Clear the Road Task Force.
We are getting reports that most of the places that we cleared, people are going back, meaning the vendors. Structures were out where we cleared, but vendors are taking advantages, especially these petty traders. They occupying the road, the pavement itself, meaning obstruction is still on most of our roads. So that's why yesterday and today we use that form to use our men, split them into two, going back to monitor.
Friday's operation is divided into two teams, and we join one of them, taking the road from Serekunda to Tanje. With business structures on the right-of-way having been demolished, there's a wider space to allow easy flow of traffic and pedestrians. For us to catch the attention of the team are car wash sites along the road. The owners went missing, leaving behind their car wash generators, which end up in police custody. Moving on to Brusubi and Tanje, this is what the aftermath of the operation looks like. These were areas that were already covered by the ongoing operation. But there are still some recalcitrant individuals creating more work for the Clear the Road operation team. For this reason, the operation team go beyond monitoring compliance and demolished obstructions on the right-of-way. While some business owners who remained reluctant to carry out the orders of the operation were arrested, others were given ultimatums to comply.
I'm arrested, huh? Okay, sir. Take him to the station. Okay, sir. Huh? Last warning. None. Jara.
Vehicles found parked on the road corridor, some of which were at car wash sites, are not exempted. With no sign of their owners, the vehicle number plates are removed and seized by the traffic police. But the irony here is that at the Brusubi police station, vehicles are parked in front of the station on what is part of the road corridor. Some of these vehicles appear to have been parked here for a long time. The head of this team tells me that the station had been asked to remove those vehicles.
Where you're talking about, that falls on Brikama. That is West Coast. Bruceby is at West Coast, and the commissioner at West Coast is in fact, they are all on our task force pages, the WhatsApp pages. They all get in communication, and those ones are not exempted. They must be cleared from there. And we equally, like you've been seeing me when I got to the police station. Those are the first things that I address.
The Operation Clear the Road exercise is planned to cover every part of the country. The team plans to continue with monitoring measures to sustain the progress already made to achieve the desired results. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Now, the National AIDS Secretariat and partners commemorated World AIDS Day on Saturday at the Governor's office in Birkama in the West Coast region. Commemorated on the 1st of December every year, the day aims to raise awareness of and show support for those who have been diagnosed and remember those who have lost to the disease. Momodu Gajaga attended, and this is his report.
The theme for this year's commemoration of World AIDS Day is Let Communities Lead. In the Gambia, it is estimated that over 24,000 people are living with HIV as of 2020 reports, and about 14,000 know their status. Adama Drame, director of the National AIDS Secretariat, says despite progress made in combating HIV and AIDS, more needs to be done to prevent the spread of the disease.
Access to HIV treatment has prevented nearly 21 million AIDS-related deaths over the last 3 decades. While we celebrate the progress made in slowing down the spread of HIV and AIDS-related deaths, we must not become complacent.
The Deputy Governor of the West Coast region, Babakar Lejalo, recognizes the significance of the day in raising awareness about HIV and AIDS.
As the chairperson of the Regional AIDS Committee, we have set ourselves a very robust committee that meets each quarter to discuss strategies to reduce the incidence of HIV through sensitization as communities as well as schools. We remain committed to this cause, and hopefully that region will be placed at a better length in terms of mortality and morbidity.
Action Aid the Gambia is among the leading agencies in the country promoting health, especially in prevention of HIV and AIDS. Ndela Faikoli, Executive Director of Action Aid, says their intervention in HIV response has played a significant role in the Gambia.
Action Aid International the Gambia acknowledges the excellent collaboration with key partners in the national HIV response and with the public health sector, as well as other stakeholders, including community volunteers, such as key and vulnerable populations. These collaborations mean a lot to ActionAid, and we are deeply grateful for the meaningful engagement and mutually benefiting partnerships.
Community participation in HIV and AIDS awareness is seen to be important in the prevention, care, support, and treatment of the disease. Sira Horajan Dao, the United Nations Programme on HIV and AIDS Country Director, highlighted the vital role of members of the community in fighting the disease.
Now is the time to recognize and support communities as leaders, not as problems to be managed. Ladies and gentlemen, the commitments made in the 2021-2026 political declaration on ending AIDS underscored the critical role communities play in HIV service delivery.
Gambia is one of the smallest countries in sub-Saharan Africa in which HIV prevalence amongst adults aged 15 to 49 is estimated to be 1.7%, men 1.3%, and women 2.1%, with approximately 25,000 people living with HIV and AIDS in 2021. Mamudu Gajaga, KTV News.
And now, the ECOWAS Commission's Legal Affairs Directorate is organizing a joint technical meeting in Banjul with the West African Economic and Monetary Union in a bid to harmonize some of its existing laws relating to heavy goods and vehicles. Aliou Cisse tells us more.
The West African Economic and Monetary Union, known as UEMOA in French, composed Benin, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Mali, Niger, Senegal, and Togo. They are all linked by the use of a common currency, the CFA, and also members to ECOWAS, the sub-regional bloc. Created on January 10, 1994 in Dhaka, its objectives include the construction of a harmonized and integrated economic space, ensuring a total freedom of movement of people, goods and services. Aissatou Kombenjai, Acting Director, Legal Affairs Directorate, ECOWAS Commission, said this meeting seeks to avoid two different laws operating within the same space as members of UEMOA and also ECOWAS.
All the UEMOA countries are also members of ECOWAS. So we don't want different laws applying in the ECOWAS space. So as I said, we sit twice a year and try to harmonize our laws. We are here for procedures, harmonizing procedures on weights and control of axle load within the ECOWAS space. That's what we're presently dealing with. But that's not the only area where we work on. As I said, we work in various areas, but this one in Banjul, we're presently working on harmonizing the standards and procedures for control of weight and axle load in heavy vehicle goods.
The outcomes of this meeting will be submitted to the heads of the two institutions who meet once a year. More technical meetings will be organized on more conflicting laws. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The report there by Aliou Cisse takes us to a commercial break. When we return, we have national and international news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply. In today's fast-paced digital world, staying ahead of the competition requires the latest technologies and skills. That's where QIT comes in. Our programs include Certificate in IT, Diploma and Advanced Diploma in Microsoft Office Applications, Cisco A+, Graphics Design, Database Administration, Systems Administration, HRM, Business Management, and Marketing. We have a range of internationally certified online courses. Our special weekend classes provide the flexibility you need as a working professional. We offer specialized IT training to corporate institutions at our state-of-the-art conference room or at a location of your choice. Our affordable facilities are also available for rental with free and fast internet. Call us at 3100918 or 3800918 to start your journey today. QIT, turning your potential into credentials.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News with me, Jul Denjai, and now to the rest of our stories. Now, in a significant development at a press conference on Saturday, the Gambia Car Dealership Association has announced that the government has allocated a piece of land to the association in New Yundum on the airport route. Lena E. Igwenyiba attended the briefing, and this is her report.
The temporary land will be the foundation for the commencement of the ambitious Car City project aimed at bolstering the vehicle and automotive industry in the Gambia. Al-Hajiba, representing the Department of Lands and Surveys through the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, explains.
The Car Dealers Association, for a couple of years, I can say for almost 2 years, they have brought to the ministry, for an allocation of a site where all car dealers within the country would be. So, as of now, they are, as an association, we gave them, they are working on the site for the site to be cleared. After clearing the site, the proper demarcation of the plots will be done. But just to make it clear to everyone here, there will be no permanent structures built at that site. It will be demarcated in the plots with a chain link around the site. Or with two block works inside and one block work outside. But there will be no permanent structure because it is a temporary allocation, not permanent allocation, for it to be clear.
Kutubombu, president of the Gambia Car Dealership Association, outlines the strategic plans for the newly acquired land.
The Gambia Car Dealership is establishing this place called Car City. It is going to be next to the airport. We want to develop it and make it a world standard avenue so that everybody dealing in the car industry will see yourself as a responsible businessman. We don't want it to be business as usual. We just don't want to park our cars in the dust anymore. We want to have a place that is up to standard, like it is done in the world at large.
Momodu Mustafa Drame, assistant accountant of the Gambia Car Dealership Association, encourages car dealers to join the initiative and expresses gratitude to the Gambia government.
As a car dealer, we need space. And then the spaces on the Barton Harding Highway and the Kairaba Avenue and all these other spaces, all the time, most of us are in public lands, which we are there temporarily, then they will allocate to somewhere else, somebody else, then we will move. We thank the government for giving us this place. And then, inshallah, we are calling on all the Gambia car dealerships. Let's unite, let's come together, and then come and build this place.
The land allocation is a significant move, and once the Car City project is implemented, it is expected to boost industry growth, economic stimulation, innovation, well-being enhancement, infrastructure development, and underscores a robust government-private sector partnership. Reporting for KTV News, I am Lena Iguiniba.
Now to some international news. Now, 16th of November or December marks the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, the most emblematic act of resistance in the U.S. struggle for independence from Britain. As part of the anniversary celebrations, Revolution 250, the organizers say they will be honoring Phyllis Whitley. In this report by Momodu Mboj, we will tell you the connection Whitley has with the Gambia.
On 28 November 1773, a ship named Dartmouth docked on Boston Harbor, and among the cargo were 114 chests of tea belonging to the British East India Company. 18 days later, the tea was thrown into the harbor by American patriots disguised as Mohawk Indians. They were protesting Britain's taxation without representation, an iconic act of resistance which ultimately led to the Revolutionary War. Another piece of cargo on that ship was the freshly printed copies of a collection of poems titled Poems on Various Subjects, Religious and Moral by Phyllis Whitley, an enslaved person, and the collection was the first written and published by an African-American woman. 12 years earlier, in July 1761, a slave vessel named the Phyllis docked at Boston Harbor, and on board was a young girl of 7 or 8 years old. She was laid, so to speak, under the auctioneer's hammer at a slave auction. Present at the auction that day was Susanna Whitley, wife of a wealthy Bostonian tailor called John Whitley. She was in want of a domestic help, so she bought her and named her after the vessel Phyllis and their surname Whitley, the name that her parents gave her at birth, forever lost to history. The child soon showed exceptional talent for language, so the Whitleys educated her in Greek, Latin, history, astronomy, history, and other subjects. By the age of 13, she had written her first poem. At age 18, a noted Philadelphia physician, Benjamin Rush, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, said this of her: "There is now in the town of Boston a Negro girl whose genius and accomplishments are such as not only to do honor to her sex, but to human nature." Several of her poems have been printed and read with pleasure by the public. She was the toast of the Whitleys. She had met Benjamin Franklin and George Washington and other prominent figures. In 1771, she went to England, where she published her famous collection, and would have met the king had she not left prematurely. For a period, Phyllis Whitley was the most famous black woman in the West. However, the racial realities of 18th century America exempted no one. She died in poverty on the 5th of December 1784. She had 3 children who all died in infancy. In fact, the last surviving child died in time to be buried with her. The consensus has been that Phyllis was kidnapped from Senegal or Gambia, But she had actually answered the question herself in this stanza from one of her poems, quoted by the African-American scholar Henry Louis Gates in his book Figures in Black. In fair description are thy powers displayed, in artless grottos and silver and shade. Charmed with thy painting, how my bosom burns, and pleasing Gambia on my soul returns. With native grace in spring's luxuriant rain, smiles the gay mead, and Eden blooms again. For QTV News, I'm Murumoch.
Also in international news, Nigeria's Supreme Court has overturned a 2022 judgment by a lower federal court that ordered the release of separatist leader Nnamdi Kanu. The popular pro-independence leader, who remains in custody, is currently battling treason and terrorism charges. Let's have more details of that in this report by Ansumana Isonyasi.
Kanu was arrested in Kenya and controversially extradited to Nigeria in 2015 on treason and terrorism charges, which he denies, having fled Nigeria while out on bail. The court in its ruling also declared that his extradition was illegal. However, it maintained that his terrorism trial at the lower federal court should continue. He will remain in the custody of the secret police pending the announcement of a date for the continuation of his trial to be set by government. Following the federal lower court's ruling in October last year, which saw all charges against Kanu dropped, his lawyers argued that he was illegally detained in Kenya or forcibly abducted before being transported to Nigeria. Kenya has not advanced any formal comment on his extradition to Nigeria. Authorities in Nigeria have linked Nnamdi Kanu's movement, the indigenous people of Biafra, popularly called IPOB, to numerous attacks on police stations and other government buildings in southeast Nigeria. However, the group denies any involvement. Between 1967 to 1970, Mr. Kanu's IPOB fought and lost a civil war to gain independence from Nigeria, during which an estimated 1 million people died, many from the southeastern region. And despite their continuous ineffective resistance, the Nigerian government maintains that the country's unity is not negotiable and has often accused Kanu's group of instigating violence in the southeast, often by imposing lockdowns and targeting prominent people in the region. Dozens have been killed this year in the violence blamed on IPOB, which the group also denies. Answana Sonyasi for KTV News.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we got time for, but before we take a leave of you, here is a recap of our headlines. In the ongoing operation Clear the Road to remove structures on the right-of-way, the operation team, together with security officers, went out to monitor compliance at the demolished areas and made more arrests. The National AIDS Secretariat and partners commemorated World AIDS Day on Saturday at the Governor's office in Birkama in the West Coast region. The ECOWAS Commission's Legal Affairs Directorate is organizing a joint technical meeting in Banjul with the West African Economic and Monetary Union in a bid to harmonize some laws relating to heavy goods and vehicles. Now, in a significant development at a press conference on Saturday, the Gambia Car Dealership Association has announced that the government has allocated a piece of land to the association in New Yundum. In international news, as part of the anniversary celebrations on December 16th, marking the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, the organizers say they will be honoring Phyllis Whitley, a former slave who is connected with Senegambia. That's all we have for you in this edition of the Bulletin. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the Weekend Review with Ade Drame. Many thanks indeed for the pleasure of your company, and do have a lovely weekend.